How the Knicks-Wolves trade has played out for both teams. With less than one-third of the season complete, Karl-Anthony Towns has given New York an early advantage. Think of some of the notable trades in recent NBA history. Like Trae Young and Luka Dončić switching franchises on draft night, Paul George going from OKC to the Clippers, and Domantas Sabonis for Tyrese Haliburton in 2022. Regardless of the moving parts, one thing most of them had in common, when not driven by an unhappy star's demand to relocate anyway, was how long it took to determine the so-called winners and losers in the deals. A full season at least, maybe several. But certainly not a sample so small as 25 games. Or in the case of Minnesota sending Karl-Anthony Towns to New York for Julius Randle and Donte DiVincenzo, a mere 78 days. The NBA landscape quaked a bit on October 2nd and the Timberwolves swapped their all-star center for the Knicks' tough power forward and energetic wing, on the brink of training camp. It might shake a little again Thursday night when New York plays at Minnesota, 9:30 Eastern Time, TNT, bringing together the principals for the first time since the surprising transaction. How Towns, Knicks are faring. With less than a third of the NBA schedule in the books, though, no credible verdict is possible. Both teams are amassing evidence, with the real significant stuff reserved for spring. It's a big trade, so you expect people to be comparing it until the end of time, Towns told Knicks reporters earlier this week. It's just my job to do what I can control, which is to be the best version of myself possible for this team and help this team succeed. Obviously, the comparisons will be up to y'all. My job will be making sure I take care of my end. Consider this a snapshot rather than a final judgment. So far, Towns and the Knicks have fared better than Randle, DiVincenzo, and the Wolves. Towns, the number 1 pick in 2015 who spent 9 seasons in Minnesota, has given his new team his prime performance. He is averaging 24.8 points and 13.9 rebounds per game and hitting 43.9% of his three-point attempts, the last 2 are career highs. He has logged 22 double-doubles, including Sunday's victory against Orlando when he had 22 points and 22 rebounds. His 2-year move to power forward, a shift made primarily to accommodate the Wolves' acquisition of Rudy Gobert in a daring, Twin Tower concept, is over, at least temporarily. New York is short-handed in the middle, losing Isaiah Hartenstein to free agency and Mitchell Robinson to injury. So Towns is back to playing center, and logging his heaviest minutes, 34.3, in 7 years. The native of Edison, New Jersey, and the son of longtime Knicks fans, Towns has adapted physically and mentally to the extra pounding he gets in the paint. He still steps outside, but the former three-point shootout winners' attempts are down to 5.1 per game after seasons getting up as many as 7.9 three-pointers. But he is giving the Knicks what they need. He has done it since he arrived, fending off the spotlight of New York or any added pressure from playing close to home, and not pouting about the trade. He has pleased coach Tom Thibodeau, who worked with Towns from 2016 to 2019 when both were in Minnesota. Experience is a great teacher, Thibodeau said. He's been through a lot of different things. I think he's learned a lot. He's a lot stronger now. He's always had great touch. He's always had really good instincts. But I think being in big games and adapting to different teammates, you learn from your teammates. At 16-10, the Knicks are 1 game better than a year ago thus far. They are in 3rd place in the East by a sliver over Orlando, with Milwaukee and Miami close behind. But they have won while embracing not just Towns but wing Mikal Bridges as newcomers. How Randle, Wolves are faring. Minnesota's adjustment with Randle and DiVincenzo has been bumpier. The veteran power forward has had his highs and lows, while his numbers overall, 20.1 ppg, 6.8 rpg, for APG, are off from his 5-year averages in New York. Though, in his recovery from a shoulder dislocation last season, his true shooting of 59.9% is his best since 2018-19 in New Orleans. DiVincenzo, by contrast, has struggled with his accuracy. He's at 35.3% overall and 31.9% from the arc. His minutes and shots are down from last season, while his scoring is way down, from 19.2 per 36 minutes to 12.0. Defensively, the Wolves were challenged too. Losing the double big alignment required an overhaul, and it showed as they slid to 8-10 through Thanksgiving. Since then, however, they have won 6 of 7, allowing more than 92 points only once in this streak. These happier days are reminiscent of last season when Minnesota made it to the Western Conference Finals, with Towns on board and sacrificing some touches and status to make things work. His willingness to accommodate guard Anthony Edwards' emergence as the team's primary scorer and generally make on-court life easier for other teammates is missed. From day one, he always told me that whatever I need, he was always there for me, Gobert said this week. He really made it fun for me to get here into the organization. We started really connecting outside of the floor, also. I felt like he really, truly wanted to see me happy and see me succeed. Towns' facial expressions and body language made his feelings apparent to the top rows of Target Center, and fans grew as frustrated as he did with injuries and losing. But he slogged with them through seasons of as few as 19 victories, 2019-20, and as many as 56 last season. Those fans undoubtedly will make this first trip back to Minnesota, with the obligatory tribute video, a warm one on a freezing night in December. One key will be Towns' ability to keep his emotions in check and, for as long as the game clock is ticking, treat it like any other business trip. He gave everything he felt he had to give across 9 seasons. He valued the appreciation and applause. He immersed himself in the community. That's a lot to bubble up, if he's not focused. We've got a win to get, so I better handle it accordingly, for sure, Towns said. Like I said, I don't know, I can't imagine myself even in a situation like this, but here we are.